Welcome to my live stream, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I was going to say, welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. Shout out to the NTZ crew. I believe I've seen Michael Beach of Life on here and Jacob Tanjay. Wow. Yeah, we live. Appreciate y'all support, man. Shout out to my fourth quarter Raymond. That's Cisco. Thank y'all, man, I think I seen Jeffrey Tatter. Was grinding all my life. Jeffrey Tatter, what's up? Any old heads, Doubtful Genius? I see Unfiltered Black Abroad on here. Welcome to any new viewers and subscribers. Also, anybody catching this on replay, the peso is 57.32, which is good. It's creeping back up. Emily Stevens says, inquiring minds want to know if these women would support a Filipino man with a black woman. Let me guess, no, and hell no, racist. That's not true. I don't think they would give you a second look. Okay, you jump into conclusions. Come over here and see. See, that's the reason. You're exactly why I made this topic today. You will be attacked when you visit the Philippines. A lot of it is ignorance. You know, most of the people who give you flack about coming here have never been here before. And they make remarks like this. They have no clue of what they're talking about. Who cares what anybody thinks? That's what I got down here because people really don't care, Emily. You're just a topic of discussion. People don't really care. They just have such low self-esteem. They're unhappy and they want you to be unhappy. He said, hey, bro, love, much love. I'll come and visit. I'm coming and visit. Hey, come on out. Granted, all my life, he says, great interview with Richie Rich and his wife, Chang, and you and Merle and Booby did a great job. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something, man. They really have what's the word I want to say? I told him today, what did I say? They really have a connection, though. It's real. And the longer they stay on YouTube, the bigger they're going to get. I laughed the whole time that I was with them. They didn't put all the stuff on the video, but yeah, they got something special, man. It's kind of rare to see that back and forth between a Filipino and a foreigner, the way that they do it anyway. But they're fun to be around. And, September 27th, we're going to have a collab. It was my idea. And I came up with the idea right then and there. Because remember, we were going to do a meet and greet in Manila anyway. And I was like, well, wow, here it is. Because they've got balls. He just went in Starbucks and set up everything. And he set up his studio. It wasn't like me with just one little camera. He had like his laptop with the lights, the tripod, and the camera. And he didn't even ask nobody. He just came right in. I was like, well, hell, these will be the people to ask to get a place. And I'll be damned, they got a place the same day. So, yeah, from 4 to 8 at the Draft Restaurant and Brewery in the Power Plant Mall in Makati. It's going to be good, man. It's going to be a lot of people there. It's a nice place. It's the first meet and greet, I believe, that they've ever had in Manila. Y'all asked for it, so here it is. But yeah, I think it's going to turn out good. Yeah, the one thing I liked about that interview was what I like to do when I have guests on here. If I interview somebody, I want a back and forth. I wanted to keep going. There was no empty space in there. What's up, Roger? He said, thanks to you, I just received my passport and passport card. Yeah. You know, we've been under a lot of scrutiny, man, a lot of hate. People try to ridicule you and shame you for wanting to travel this beautiful earth, man, but we're not going to go for it. No, I'm not early today. I got here at 9:30. What's up? But yeah, the topic is you will be attacked when you visit the Philippines, but I did want to mention the meet and greet. Also, I talked a little bit when I was in Manila about focusing on your core expenses and everything else will fall into place. I call them the big four over here: your rent, your utilities, your food, and your immigration. I think we put the cart before the horse if you do it on any other kind of way. People always want to know, what am I going to do when I get over there? What's my lifestyle going to be like? Man, if you take care of them four things right there, everything else is going to fall into place. I'd rather be a square. I'm a square over here, to be honest with you. Square guys last longer overseas than cool guys because it's expensive to be cool. You're hopping on planes, going everywhere all the time. You know, you're living in the fancy condominiums, you know, in the big, you know, popular areas. And, you know, you play in the field. You got the car, the motorcycle. I live a simple life over here, man. I'm square. I'm glad. Square guys live longer, too. What's up, Rashad? He said, you're looking younger, Unc. Why do America attack me and so much for going to the Philippines? They stuck in 1973 like it's Vietnam or something. I know. It's crazy, right? But then you even get attacked by other expats in these so-called fancy places. They look down on you if you decide, hey, I'm going to relocate to the Philippines, man. Y'all crazy. There's no shame in my game, man. I'm proud to be here. I'm proud of what my life has been in this almost 7 years over here. I have no regrets at all. But, you know, that's just what they do. And like I said, misery loves company. Most of the people who attack us, Rashad, they never left the United States before. They're going by what they hear on YouTube and different Facebook and all that. He said, don't do anything stupid. Yeah, that's what I said on Richie Rich's interview. What's up? What's up, 53 Shades Darker? You sent me that email, man, and you was right on time, man. You know, we be spending money and proposing. Hell, we just got off the damn plane. They like that. That's what they want. We play right into their hands. This is just what we always talk about. You don't even know the woman. And you already proposing. Man, give it some time. You know, they put that tune up on you, man, and you lose your mind, man. Some guys, man, I'm going to tell you, I would go to Angeles City first just to get that out of my system. A patio, Walking Street, or somewhere, because y'all getting in trouble doing that. You're going to get yourself in trouble doing that. She put the tune up on you, maybe, you know, change your oil, and you lose it. We don't learn. The guy just spent $100,000 in 6 months. That's the true story. Some guy says I'm calling bullshit. I don't care what you call it. Man ain't got no reason to lie about that. He said, why would you worry about what other people think of your happiness? Yeah, well, I don't believe she's real. I don't believe that Emily is real. They jump in and out of here, but another reason I make topics like this. We've talked about this before. Yeah, the armchair bros. They never been anywhere, but you tell them, Sheldon, because Sheldon getting ready to come over here. His first time. Hopefully you can make that meet and greet, man, because it's going to be off the chart this time. They've never been anywhere. They'll talk about you as if you're on a whole other planet or somewhere. Don't hate the player, hate the game. It's basically, what's up, Chief? He said, what's up, Cal? This is Mario. I changed my name on here. in preparation for my channel I'm starting soon. Oh, I hear you, man. Best of luck, man, on your channel. Just be real. Give some people some hope, man. That's all I be trying to do. He said, hey, Cal, I'm coming to the Philippines at Christmas time. And whenever I tell my friends, they look at me strange. Yeah, you know, it's an old reputation, man, that the Philippines is trying to get rid of. You know, that's why I've toned it down a little bit, you know, because I don't want them to think I'm mocking, you know, what's went on before I come here before. But I'm really not. I'm just talking about me. But yeah, they think that there's going to be some type of manipulation going on. Either you're going to get manipulated or you're going to manipulate her. But y'all know how I feel about that. There are no victims here. We're grown, consenting adults. You know exactly what you're getting into. So even though I have some sympathy and empathy for people, you already know what you're getting into. You know, the guy spent all that money over here. Reach out for some help. Don't be ashamed, because that's the reason why people look at you all crazy when you say I'm coming over here. They think all the stories is like his, but they're not. Most of the stories are like mine. But remember, good news doesn't get any, you know, airplay. People don't want to hear about you doing good. They want the drama. That's what they click on. YouTube already told me that I can look in my studio and show you. Whenever I have a bad video, people click on it. But if you tell them like, yeah, man, you know, I'm building a house in the Philippines, or I'm getting married, or something like that, they're not going to click on it. He said, worrying about someone else's opinion while you're in your fourth quarter is insane. It is. What's up, Slick Rick? Yeah, but I think this meet and greet's going to be really, really good, man. He said the sisters had the first right to refusal. Now they treating Unc and others that's going to the fields like y'all was matinee idols here. Yeah, the nerve for anyone to attack me in the travel worldwide. Yeah, I was watching a video the other day. Some woman, she's over in Africa. Oh, she's just letting black men have it, the passport bros. And, you know, I'm thinking to myself, man, let that go. I know it's video. I know it's a content creation, but nobody's paying attention to that stuff. You know, talking about the way they coming over in Africa and acting a damn fool, like everybody acts that way. They put us all into one basket. Remember, the bad cases get the press. The good guys who come over here, who just aren't interested in you, lady, you old. You got an elephant pussy. Nobody wants you, so you're going to pick on us. Get the hell out of here. He said, say that date again. It's September 27th. It's on a Saturday at Draft, DRAFT, Restaurant and Brewery. It's a nice looking place. Go on my community page. I posted some pictures. They look like they got good food. From 4 to 8. It's in the Power Plant Mall in Makati, which is a nice area. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. I have to give him credit for this. But remember, Chang, man, it's like a professor or something. She's like a teacher at the college. She ain't no joke. She got 2 places. I mean, and why not? I mean, this is really what you want right here. He says, hey, Cal, why does Richie Rich and his wife live in different homes if they're married? I don't know if they're married, first of all. But it goes to show you that the stuff he talks about on his channel, he's not being a hypocrite. But I think they made the right move. You can live apart and be together. They don't have any children or anything, you know. I don't have a problem living with somebody, but there's other options. You know, you don't have to come over here and do what everybody else does. I think he's setting a great example because it shocked me when he talked. That's the first time I even knew Vincent was when he said it. You can look at the expression on my face. He said, "We're not married. She's not my wife." But they've got a real connection, man. They're about as good as me and John was together. But yeah, they're real, man. As long as if they just stay in there, because I'm shocked that they don't have more views and more subscribers. They only got 10,000, a little bit over 10,000 subscribers. But I don't know how long they've been on YouTube either. I think about 2 years, Rich. You know, I'm like, well, what do y'all want? But, you know, because there's only really 4 black vloggers, really, that I know that, you know, they ever come across my screen is Pinoy Floyd. And I don't know if a lot of people really, people who follow me are going to follow him, but he does like restaurant reviews. You know, he just really talks about the whole gamut of living abroad, you know, the condominiums, and he interviews couples and stuff like that. Then the Black Filipino, of course, me and Richie Rich. Who else is it over here? I mean, it's more, but they don't really get any following. He said I'm L7 too. Yeah, see, square guys, man, we keep a low profile. We just live a simple life, man. It's better to be square. Oh, look at him. He's a square. We're not here. He said, "What's up, Cal? What's good today, bro, man? It's all good, man. I enjoyed myself because we went out to eat the day before. Me, him, Eric, Terry, and our families. And, you know, it's first time. He just looks the same. He looks a lot younger, though. You know, Richie Rich, you tell him your age, but I thought he was younger than what he was. He's getting up there, man. Yeah, he said I'm an avid scuba diver. Well, you come to the right place if you come here. But you know, when you put the big 4, like I said, when you focus on that, you're gonna have extra money to do other things. But what we do, we put the cart before the horse, and you end up going broke, man. And you can't take care of the main thing, man. As long as I got a warm, a cool bed to sleep in, you know, with a roof over my head, food in my stomach, I got Wi-Fi, my lights and water's on, and my immigration is paid, man, I'm going to find something to do. In the Philippines, there's so much you can do that costs little or nothing. We went ice skating, man. It's 200 pesos, I believe. I'm not really sure. We watched, so it costs us 100 to watch the kids. But it's not much more than that. Man, the crazy thing is, I just don't understand why people are going broke over here, man. Because they're putting the lifestyle above the main thing. He said, guys with money last longer than those with no income. Now, that's a square biz keeping them. No, this man had 140,000 cash. He's going to be broke by the end of the year. It has nothing to do with the money. It has to do with your personality. A lot of square guys who get one woman, who settle down and let y'all call us square, we last longer over here. It doesn't matter how much money you got, man. If you only knew the fortunes people run through over here. You see what happened to the guy, black guy, flew into Cebu. He didn't even get to start his life over here because he sent the money ahead to the woman or whoever it was, and they disappeared on him. He never said how much he sent. He said it was his life savings. So no, it ain't got nothing to do with money. Yeah, if you a square and you got money, you're gonna last a lot longer. Okay. What's up, man? Awards, my buddy, man. He over in Kuwait. He's a cool guy. It don't matter. It's your personality. You know how long it would take me to go through 100,000 years. Honestly, certainly if you square. He said, Cal, your visual lighting is nice. I'm going to be honest, I'm just sitting closer to my window, man, today. I think I'm going to have to do this now. I appreciate that. What times it travels. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. I do want to shout out Michael Onstadt, man. I always do that. From one insurance agent to another. He's, the go-to guy for health insurance here in the Philippines, man. It's important. That's one thing a lot of us try to do without. And it ends up blowing up in our faces, man. He can get you a good deal. But remember, it's your health. When they underwrite you, man, that's the first thing they're going to look for is your health. Are you on any kind of medications and all of that? But it's hassle-free. It's good insurance with Pacific Cross. I always put him in my either my comment section or my description, man. Shout out Mike. I know he'll be on here today. He said, what are we talking about? Who's getting attacked coming to the Philippines? We all do. If you tell somebody you coming to the Philippines, let's get into this. You're going to get a lot of scrutiny. Okay, because the first thing they think, he's a pedophile. He's going over here, it's all about sex. They don't realize there's so much other stuff going on over here. The man just said it. He's an avid scuba diver, which is the Philippines is a hot spot on the planet for scuba diving, free diving, and all that kind of stuff. But I got a lot of scrutiny is placed upon you when you tell people you're coming to the Philippines. It's time that we squash that. That's why I need guys to tell their story. People have been here for a while, who are succeeding, who are thriving over here. When I did my video about the guy offered me $50,000 on my house, it was a chance for me to update y'all on, the repairs we're doing, the painting and everything, but also to show people that it can be done over here. That's not the only offer I received. When I made a video when Marilyn said, why don't I get off YouTube because she doesn't seem like she's got a private life, I said, okay, I will on one condition. We sell the house. And a guy said, well, if you're going to sell the house, I'll give you 2 million pesos. Right, dude. That's you lowballing. But yeah, it's nobody's business. This is what I'm telling y'all. Forget what they're talking about because they really don't care. Q, they really don't care, man. But they talk down on you, man. Like, and it's always hard because you're a loser. Or you can't get it done in your own country, man. I was 55 when I came over here. I was getting it done in my home country. And when I came here, I brought a woman with me. Not like I came over here by myself. But they use all kind of stuff to get at you when they've never even been out of the country before. I tell them, just come on over here. No, it's not. Imagine what an elephant pussy is. It's big, it's swollen. It's just, it's like there's no telling how many men that went in there, no matter how much you do. Okay. you ain't gonna get her off. You can do all the pushing you want. Ain't no satisfying an elephant pussy. What's up, Hollywood, baby? But yeah, they got a good setup, Richie Rich and Chang. It's real, man. And they come across as good people. He said, "What's up, brother Cal?" Booty was so mannered in that interview with Richie Rich and Chang. You and Marilyn doing a good job, great job raising her. Salute my brother for the black fathers. Yeah, we don't get no credit, you know, at all. But yeah, Booty's well mannered, man. I mean, even when we go to her graduations, all the other little kids, man, running all around. Booty just sits there in the chair, man. I'm shocked. He said, yeah, the reason they attack you for going overseas is because you're doing something they can or won't do. That's exactly right. It's as if we're leaving to go to another planet, though. And then, you get these guys in Thailand, Vietnam, and all these fancy places, Malaysia. They even try to attack you. Oh, it's a shithole and all of that, right? He said, what happened to the global local guy? He's gone missing. Yeah, some people, man, there's no telling, man. Maybe people start harassing him. Maybe he wasn't getting the coverage that he thought he should get, man. You've been out here making videos, you feel unappreciated. Maybe he just took a break. But it's not many of us over here. And we just don't get the big numbers that we should be getting. That I think we should be getting. Hey, what's up, you dirty puppy? He said, good morning, Cal. I'm curious what your opinion is about me being your neighbor and friend. Recently, I noticed there's a huge number of happy expats who are silent and prospering. Yeah, see, that's the thing. We need more of y'all to be out in the open. But at the same time, I don't blame you. Who wants to undergo all that scrutiny? Come on in here. Nobody can see you for real. And stuff. When y'all over here living your best life like you dirty puppy. I'm glad, man, guys like you, man. You're a good guy. You one of the good guys. I'm proud to call you my friend, man. But we need to see more because people think we're all over here, screwing young girls and all of that. It's not the truth. He built a big, beautiful house, about 160 square meters. It's about 3 times big as mine. I believe it's 4 or 5 bedrooms, 4 baths. It's really nice. I did a video on it. But they think, we're just over here with that foolishness, man. And he's a square. He stays at home with his family. He drinks at home. They don't make a whole lot of noise. What's up, Sakaria? Thanks for that super chat. Hey, Cal, I'm tired of this damn hamster wheel. Almost crashed out and snapped today at work. I was 1 second away from saying F it. Man, you and me, how many times did I do that before I finally pulled the trigger? And everything else is going on over there. A damn president, man, just sucking the balls of the Russian dictator. It's embarrassing, man. When you see a president in the United States talking about what a Russian dictator's talking about, I've never seen that in my life, and agreeing with him. Like, dude, you are weak. Really weak. All that kind of stuff, man. That's why I don't bother to watch it much anymore because it gets on my nerves. Roger says, I spent $24,000 in 3 months in 3 countries. 8,000 was business class flight, though. Yeah, but hell, you only live once, man. Honestly. It wasn't like you was throwing your money away. You was living the high life, doing what you wanted to do, You hit the trifecta. Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines. What's up, Jungle Man? Space Adventures. I'm glad to see you out of jail, man. When you gonna come on the channel and talk about that? You want a shout out? Yeah, I do, Curtis. He said, do you look at the Obi-Land video about guys getting drugged in Colombia and getting robbed and killed? It's crazy. Yeah, we've talked about that before. And while I'm glad it don't happen so much over here, but they don't have to rob and drug us. We give away the damn money freely. Why would you rob a man who's giving away 100,000 in 6 months? But his situation, you left her happy, Roger. He's depressed. He's on suicide watch. He said, Calvin had me laughing when he said embargoes look like buzzards. They were, man. They were buzzards. Circling around, waiting for him to drop because he's on his last leg. So they can, swoop in and finish the job. I mean, but these are the worst looking bar girls I've ever seen. These are the worst looking Filipinas I'd ever seen. Them two together didn't even add up to a 1. I couldn't believe it, man. And to add insult to injury, he's over there rubbing on the leg of one of them. And I'm like, dude, I felt sorry for you 5 minutes ago. He said, yeah, I got so many comments and attack when I told people I was coming here. They don't realize the beauty over here. There's no shame in my game, man. I'm proud. They look down on you, man. They think you are less than for coming here. Not realizing, boy, you could have the time of your life over here if you play your cards right. He said, being an American is my biggest Uno card abroad. I feel like I'm playing with house money. Well, you are in certain places. But you got to play your cards right. Yeah, he's a disgrace, man. I mean, really, he's a disgrace. And then to have, you got to realize this guy's a war criminal, that the ICC, the one who's got Duterte in custody right now, they're looking for him and Netanyahu, and we treat them like war heroes. You see, he had U.S. servicemen rolling out the damn red carpet for this war. This guy's a dictator. He's a war criminal, man. He's killing innocent men, women, and children. But we don't care, man. And all these, on both sides, man. I don't put up with it. They just let Trump do whatever he wants to do. He's weak. And if you follow weak man like that, you weak. It's unreasonable. You can't see that. Man, imagine him saying, yeah, you hear what Putin said, something very interesting, that the reason I lost is mail-in voting. That it, can never be, you never get a true count. He said, and if you were the president, if you would have got elected in 2020, this war wouldn't have happened. Stroking Trump's egos, but he's repeating this stuff. The American president is repeating this stuff, man. You can't make it up, man. You can't make it up. I'll be so glad when he's out of our mindset for good and all. Yeah, barflies. I mean, but no, these were buzzards, dude. These girls, man, was so terrible. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, he's a punk. No, he didn't. He said that man had that money. No, he didn't. He's angry about it. He said he was scammed and fooling with women, and they were stealing from him, and I'm pretty sure he probably gave a lot of that away, because you can give that money away over here. But no, he wasn't happy. What's up, Jews? Yeah, he just doesn't know any better to do that. Why would you do this propaganda for Russia? But all you gotta do is stroke this man's ego, anything to take the conversation away from Epstein and all of that. He said, Cal, you should buy that lot next door and connect to your existing property. Man, you can't do that, man. I can't afford that. And remember, there's a whole big space in between there. I can't connect it. I don't know whose land that is in between my lot and that lot over there. Hey, Sam W., thanks for that super chat. He said, I returned to America on Thursday last week. Sunday dinner, my uncle was yelling about how selfish I am, wanting to be out of the United States. It was wild. Yeah. And you know, my grown daughters, but it's typical of women over there. They don't understand. I've got to have a life. I've got to be happy. And I've got a daughter here. They're never going to give you the benefit of the doubt, Sam, because they're miserable. They won't do it. They're afraid to pack it up and go somewhere, even on vacation. They go to the same damn places, Florida, Vegas, California, where else they go? They go to the same places. Yeah, these women, man, were, man. Yeah, I hope you told your uncle you're living your life not here. Good comeback. But people don't really care, Jeff, for real. It's just a topic of discussion. People are miserable, man, and they want you to be miserable. Oh, absolutely. We all know this. Yeah, we all know this. But the best way to put it on reserve is to get over here. First come, first serve. Nobody else told you that. They're telling you that now because they heard me saying it. I'm just telling you the truth. It's first come, first served. They don't care about all that talk and stuff. And I saw Gio was like, he made another video about, among many that's out there, I'm not picking on Gio, about what Filipinos think about foreigners. Who cares, really? I mean, why should we care? Okay? You know, don't we know enough about Filipinos already, guys? And if you don't, shame on you. But it's like, you know, why do we kowtow to them? We got all the cards for real. I mean, who cares? You know, and it's bullshit anyway. It's not true when you really get down to the nitty gritty. Well, we're not living back then. I don't really know. Was you living back then, Izzy and Chris? You know, you always want to make up with Trump, but did he mimic, did he puppet and parrot what the fact that he's sitting there telling the American public what Putin said and agreeing with Putin when Putin is a dictator? He got 87% of the vote. He changed the Constitution where he can stay in power to 2036 and all that stuff, man. Come on. You can make up for Trump all you want. I don't care. If you want to follow Trump, follow him. I mean, I'm not mad at you. I'm just telling you that I've got an opinion too. I think it was weak for him to do that. I'm 62. I've never seen it done in my life. But he doesn't know any better. He said, I got 2 kids encouraging me to move. I hear you, man. But see, my children, the reason they were mad at me is because their whole lifestyle changed. When me and their mother split and they went with the mother, the kids are always going to go with the mother. And then they're going to try to blame it on me because of what happened. They don't know the whole story. See, I got into it with my son's mother today. She's a Filipina, and he's a soccer player over in North Carolina. And, I was like, you're responsible for me and him not being as close as we should be. Take responsibility for that, lady. Okay? You wouldn't let me bond with my son. I fly all the way from the United States over here to see my son, and you wouldn't even let me take him back to the Airbnb for swimming. You told your family, don't let me take him anywhere alone. I'm going to kidnap him and bring him back to the United States. Yeah, right. See, this is the point. Men, we always get blamed. The women don't want to take responsibility. He said, damn, how the hell can somebody lose $140,000 in the Philippines? That's lifetime money over there. Yeah, he spent $100,000, but he's on his way to spending it all. He's on his way to spending it all here. You could see he's defeated, but I'm like, for $140,000, I'm gonna have a 20-piece. I'm not gonna have them girls. I mean, I'm just telling you, they were ugly, man. They're the worst looking women I've ever seen in the Philippines. It is. It is. They don't want to hear that talk. See, the thing about when you start interviewing Filipinos online, they're not going to tell you the real truth, man. They're not going to tell you what's really going on. You got to come over and find that out for yourself. I'm not even going to tell you anymore because they get mad at me for telling the truth. They can't handle the truth. So I stopped telling it. Just come over here and you'll see it. But what they're telling you is not the truth. I can say that. Okay? What they think, what they really think about foreigners. Who gives a damn? Okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you. I really don't. I don't take anything, man. This is all natural for me. I'm proud of that. And it really has a lot to do with genetics. And also, I work out, man. You know, he said, you take creatine, but I really don't. But who gives a damn? You know, it's what you think. We're in our fourth quarter. A lot of them women, they're young enough, they can make mistake after mistake after mistake. Man, you ain't got a whole lot of mistakes left. It should be what you think. Okay? But this is the point. We're prioritizing them and not prioritizing ourselves. I won't make another video like that. Don't nobody care. Yeah, he said, Cal, guys are always going to defend that dude. No matter if he was involved with underage girls, they don't care. You know, I'm so angry with both sides because they never should have let him get in a position to be the president of the United States anyway. They already know who he is. Not once, not twice, but 3 times they voted for him. You know, and so, hey, deal with the consequences. I don't want to hear this crying. You know, they want to follow somebody like that. Follow yourself. You following a follower. Yeah, they want a man in the Philippines. But we know that. But enough of these videos about, you know, if you don't know enough about Filipinos already, then you'll never know. Because every video is out there about that. But none of it's telling the truth. None of it's telling the truth. Okay? They need your money, man. They're struggling over here. That's why 18 to 80 blind, crippled, and crazy is in full effect. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They don't care what you look like. Okay? They don't care how old you are, how much you weigh. They don't care. It doesn't matter. Okay? Yeah, he said 30 or 40,000. Dude, you should know how much money you got left. There ain't no 30 or 40. Is it 30 or is it 40? But one thing he can do, he can get that money back for the SRRV. It's going to take him a little while, but he can do that. You know, he can do that. I would get out of Angeles City, first of all. Hey, look, man, I already told you I don't take none of that junk. I don't need to take it. Hey, thank you, man. You know, I try to do it. See, the thing about it is, when you got as much white as I've got, you got to stay on top of it, man. There's nothing worse than dingy looking white. And they don't get it. Oh, well, you just painted that 18 months ago. Well, you know, whenever it gets to the point of where I come there and I can notice that it's not looking the way I want it to look, I got to get it painted. You see how good that back wall looks now? We getting ready to freak that whole thing out back there. It's really going to look good. He said, some people are traveling to get a good deal and get dealt with. Yeah. He said, that's right, Cal. Who gives a fuck? Some of these simp vloggers always think the woman is a prize. It's repulsive seeing these guys' videos. Yeah, because you know the truth, man. You've been over here, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or step on anybody's toes, but, man, it's like, who gives a damn, really? We're not talking about mistreating anybody, but, hey, you know, let the truth be told, man. We all know what's going on over here. You know, and I know why they doing it, because they going to get clicks. You still got guys who still want to be convinced. You don't have to be convinced. I'm telling you that if you come over here, no matter what you look like, you got a pension. Okay, if you got some money, they want you. That's the bottom line. Okay, there ain't no shame in that. There's no shame in that. Okay, because you're going to get a whole lot more for your money over here than what you're going to get at home. Nobody's looking at me in the United States, no matter how much money I got. And if you do get a good woman, man, she's not going to be cooperative. You know, she's going to try to run the show. It's always going to be some kind of drama. Man, my daughter's had so much damn drama, man, when I was there, man. That's the reason I got out of there, man. Every day is drama. You get tired of that. He says, so many people are out there worried about what everybody else thinks about them. Live your life, man. Enjoy it. Tomorrow isn't promised to you. Man, how many times do we have to say this? Okay? They don't care for real. You only live once. I was talking to my daughter yesterday. She's 30. Well, she'll be 30 in November. No. Let's see. Will she be 30? Yeah, she'll be 30 in November. And I was like, look, life goes by too quick for you to even be worried about stuff like that. Live your life now. Stop worrying about that petty stuff. Do it now. Why you still can? Because he says tomorrow isn't promised to you. We don't get a guaranteed amount of time here. You can be young, you can be old, and your life be taken from you. Robbed of your life, the way they doing it now. You see the guy that got killed on live the other day in Chicago. I mean, so many people just getting robbed of their lives, man. You better live now. That's why I say being square, you're going to live a lot longer. Because I avoid the drama. He says, I do like the new paint job on the house and gate. He said, do you ever get jealousy being Filipino neighbors? I really don't, and I'm going to tell you why, because I give back. Okay, when you give back and you humble and you don't flaunt it, Izzy and Chris, you're not going to get that. Okay, because Filipinos see Filipinos with a whole lot more money than me, with bigger houses, cars, and everything like that than me. But I give back. See, to all of my neighbors around here, I just go to the store one day, and if it crosses my mind, I buy an extra set of groceries for my neighbors, certainly the ones that live here and the ones that live here that got kids. But that's why. But you never really know what people are thinking. But for the most part, no, because, man, if you think the poverty here is going to shock you, the wealth here is going to shock you. Okay? And then a lot of times Filipinos are so religious that they think, they got theirs coming later on. Just like a lot of poor people. It reminds me of growing up black in America, man. Religion is so strong in our household that we don't really sweat a lot of stuff that we should. We don't push back on stuff that we should because, we let the Lord take care of it for us. And it's the same way over here. Well, it's not really a whole lot to know. I know very little about him, really, Q. He said, I'm shocked about how well you know Filipinos and the roots. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, living, and experiencing. It's not really about all that stuff that they tell you online. It's 18 to 80. If you got a pension, if you got money, if you're a decent human being, and you could be an asshole. You're gonna find somebody over here that's willing to deal with you. He says you'll never know a Filipino country if you never go see for yourself. Yeah, that's all. But I think there's enough videos out there already about what's going on over here that you really don't have to see another new video on that. But at the same time, we're on a 28-day cycle. New people are, the algorithm is pushing you out to new people every day. So a lot of the stuff, I've made 3,000 videos. A lot of the stuff that I've talked about, I really need to talk about again because a lot of my new viewers, they'll never go way back 5 years and watch those videos. Okay, well, that's just your opinion. That's just your opinion, man. I'm not going to argue about that. Okay, Brent? Remember, I'm an American too. I want it to be good over there. Okay? But when you got white men leaving America, something's wrong. That's their heaven over there. It was built for them. And when they're unhappy and say, hey, I'm leaving, something's wrong, man. I'm just being honest. Okay? Now, if I leave, okay, you can understand that. That's my hell over there. I don't care how much money I earn, I'm always going to be looked at as the other over there. Okay? It doesn't matter. Okay? He said, facts, Cal. I'm witness to the 18 to 80. You know it, man. You know it's telling the truth. He said, the original recipe is so much fucking better than the crispy, man. That's my saying. I say it all the time. You couldn't pour a Filipina in America on me. If she was born and raised in America, you couldn't pour her on me. But people don't want the truth. They want this old homogenized bullshit, man. Yeah. He said the guy's embarrassed to disclose how much he got left. So he's just throwing out a ballpark numbers. I would be embarrassed, and he is embarrassed. And I feel sorry for him because, he came over here with the right intentions. He just went to the wrong place. He should have just been a square. He could have just got one good woman over here, man. He'd have all that money left. But they don't want to listen. I haven't been over here for 7 years for nothing, 6.5 years. I do know something. I know that if you come over here and live a simple life, if you be a square, that your dreams can come true over here. You don't have nothing to be ashamed about. If you make the main thing, those 4 things, you take care of them first. Don't worry about all that other stuff, the woman and all that other stuff. It's going to take care of itself. Going to the beach and all that stuff. We put that in front of the main stuff and we end up in trouble. You don't even have money to buy a return ticket. There's no reason if you come over here, you got a pension, you got a certain amount of money that you're supposed to go broke But people over here trying to start businesses and all that kind of crap, man. Are y'all crazy? You 8,000 miles from home. You don't have the right visa. You didn't have a business at home. You don't have a business plan. But you're going to come over here and start a business. You're putting the cart before the horse. He said, can you purchase land and house with SRV? Yeah, but remember, here's what you can do, retard not far, because you're SRV, you got the right visa. Here's what you can do, and Maryland put me onto this. If you do the land and the house, do it as a business. Because with an SRV, you can own a business. You can be 60-40. So now you own 60% of the land and the house. If nothing else, it's going to keep her honest. She can't just run off and sell it because she needs your signature. And you're going to be right there to get 40%. And 40% is better than nothing. So yeah, you can do that. But as far as an SRV allowing you to own land right out, no. But property, yeah. Hey, D Smooth, thanks for that super chat. He said, original recipe ain't got nothing on Popeye's extra spicy. Well, that's what you want, an extra spicy Filipino over in America with all that drama and stuff? That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the actual, original and crispy. Hell, I wish I did have some real Popeyes. That Popeyes, they got a Popeyes here, right? In Newport. It's not as good. I just don't understand. But I know what it is. When you get the chicken, it's not hot. And then they don't have the biscuits. Hell. What's up, Kevin? Yeah, he got killed over at Diamond Chain. He says, get there and live. Not all women are after the money. Bullshit. That's bullshit, Stephen. That's not true. The women we deal with, and you my buddy, they do want the visa and the better life. Okay? He said, hell, most never seen anything over 15,000 pesos in their pocket. Yeah, that's right. That's why, that's what Merlin said, 10,000. But yeah, they do want that. That's the reason why they'll choose us over a Filipino man who's a lot younger, who's a lot better looking, but he don't have any money. Filipinos, they got everything over here. They got love from their family and friends, man. They got an abundance of that. They just don't have money. Okay? So they'll take a guy who's over the hill, okay, whose time is running out, who doesn't look so good, 18 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy, who's obese, who doesn't have a good education, he's not intelligent. They throw all that out the window. Can you give me the visa? Can you give me a better life? Because I'm struggling over here. That's just the truth. I'm talking about the women we deal with, not all the women over here, man. There's women over here who really have it going on, who don't want to deal with foreigners. But why would I want to deal? Why would a woman want to deal, Stephen, with a foreigner, with a man who has nothing in common with them? When there's millions of men over here, if it wasn't about the money, who has everything in common with them. The same culture, they look a lot better than we do. They're younger. Why would they want to deal with you and you live 8,000 miles away? Come on, guys. Let's don't be in denial. Now, can it blossom into something other than that? Yeah, but the initial attraction, guys, is money and a better life and a visa. Okay? Otherwise, women ain't looking at you, man. Come on, Steven. When the last time you looked in the mirror? And you my buddy. When I look in the mirror every day, I know that I'm not going to get a 40-year-old woman in the tip-top condition in America like I do over here, who's cooperative, who will literally bend over backwards for me. I'm not going to get that over there. And I'm only getting it over here because I get what she wants. Okay? He said, Cal, your area looks like it's so peaceful. It really is, man. That's, people say, oh, it's not a lot to do in St. Carlos City. It really is. But you have to go out, okay, and take the initiative. There's Sapaway Island. There's all kind of stuff to do around here. But you got to go out and do it. It's not like at your fingertips if you're in Manila. See, that's the reason I like to visit Manila. I couldn't live there. There's no ice skating rink here. There's no theaters here. There's no, the Mall of Asia is so big, man, that even though I've been through it so many times, I always get turned around. Okay. I always get turned around, I always get lost. And then you cross the street, and it's like a whole other world of bars and restaurants. They got a big ass Ferris wheel, a gigantic park. It's all kind of stuff going on over there. But it's peaceful here, man. But it is peaceful. He said the wealth shocked the hell out of me. He says, like, how the hell y'all got money to go shopping? Shit. The Philippines got a 1% and a 10% like everybody else. Then they got a 10% of the 1%. When, Henry C's family, who he's the founder of SM, they're like the family of Walmart in America. He was one of the 400 richest people on the planet. 2 of them were Filipinos. That's money over here now. The Philippines is a rich country. It just doesn't trickle down to everybody. And it's none of my business, though. But I'm talking about the women we're dealing with. They're not on that list. What's up, Brandon? I'm just speaking my truth. That's all. He said, yeah. It's embarrassing. A lot of things people say about Trump, it's here or there. But when you see him on national TV, on Fox, bragging about, parroting what Putin is saying, come on, man. That's embarrassing as an American president, man. A war criminal. This guy is. He said, white men leaving, that's a dead giveaway. Well, I'm just saying, though, y'all don't want the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. When white men are leaving the United States, dude, something's going on. Something's wrong. Something's broke. Something needs to be fixed. He says, I'm white and I'm getting the hell out. See, Roger don't be playing. Now, this makes a lot of sense here. Let's listen to this. He said, I do have sympathy for guys who trick off 20 plus years of savings here. I consider it a mental health crisis. Well, that and a gambler's mindset will wreck you. Something's going on, man. I've talked about this since I've been online, since I've been on YouTube, because I see it up close. And I'm thinking, these guys, man, they're so well-rounded. They're so put together at home. But when they get over here, something happens. See, the Philippines doesn't change you. It just exposes who you really are. They're acting like that in their home countries, all good and everything, because they really don't have a choice. But when you come over here and you got access to so much other stuff, it just really exposes you, just like money does. It exposes you, man. Some people do get taken advantage of, but honestly, it's in them already. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, you're a permanent resident here, but you got to know the Filipino history to know why they don't want foreigners to own land over here. I mean, it's really that simple, guys. Hold on, I got to put my phone, switch to my phone because Booby's been using my laptop, and uh, she ran my battery down. Crazy, right? But yeah, you're just a permanent resident. You can actually work, you can go to school, and you can own a business here with an SRRV, but most people don't even know that. Most people get an SRRV simply so they don't have to leave the country. They don't take advantage of all the opportunities that are available to you. Yeah, he said they're practically giving away cars in the Philippines, but not the foreigners. Yeah, we basically have to pay cash, but in some instances, you can probably get a car loan. You know, I'm going to try. If I don't, if that's going to be my last resort is going to be to pay cash for their raise. If I go to my bank, if I put half down, and I believe they'll do it. I've been a member of that bank long enough, and I went. They seen, um, the money that comes through my hands when I bought this house, and everything had to go through that bank. Believe it or not, because I wasn't gonna go and withdraw 300,000 pesos and take it home with me. I told the engineer, now you got to meet me at the bank because it's happened so many times over here. It's happened so many times where people get robbed and killed at that bank, man. Let me do this real quick because it happened in Dumaguete. The the teller set the man up. Yeah, she set the man up. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, she set the man up over here. He went and pulled out $40,000. At that time, it was about 2 million pesos. And she called her boyfriend, her husband, and they end up killing the man in the parking lot. You can go and Google that. That's a true story. Okay. But yeah, he says, I watch my back when I'm in Western Union. You better. Even though, I've never really had any problems here. That's what happened to that foreigner. But honestly, I believe he was set up. The last foreigner that got killed, I believe that they set him up because he didn't get killed at the ATM. He got killed in the parking area of the resort they were. So what happened was they already got there. He's unpacking their stuff, getting ready to take it in. And the man comes up to him, don't do anything to the husband. And, after they got the money, he still killed the man. Raymond Smith says, so it's best to go into a mall and withdraw some cash and maybe hire a cop or security guard. No, you don't want to do that. That's going to just bring more attention to you. But if you do go to the ATM and there's one inside the store or inside the mall, yeah, it's better. But no, because there's guys who come over here, believe it or not, they heard all this crap, Raymond, and they hire a bodyguard. This is going to bring more attention to you. That's going to make the people think, oh, he's got some money or something. I wouldn't do that. You don't do that. I mean, first of all, why would you walk around with 100,000 pesos on you anyway? The only way you would do that is if, okay, you're going to buy you a scooter. Then you go, you get the money from Western Union or wherever. Then you go straight to the dealer. Okay, but there's no reason to be walking around with that kind of money over here. I promise you, man, I never walk around with more than 5,000 pesos. I mean, there's just no reason to do that. Yeah, he says, like anything, add in Panama Papers money and it gets vague. Enrique Razon is thought to be the single richest dude in the Philippines, though, valued at around what's this, 11 billion. Wow, that's a lot of money. Is that 11 billion pesos or 11 billion dollars? Because that's just a lot of money to have in the Philippines. When see, here's the thing that the reason why I don't even look up to rich people anymore, not like that. Okay, it's because why would you want to be so rich when so many other people are starving around you? Okay, and then we come up with all this rhetoric. No, man, y'all sucked all the air out of the room. Even if you're trying to get up there and you're doing all that you can, man, it's impossible. Okay, if you're a billionaire, somebody said this, I heard them say this. Oh, who said this? But anyway, they said, if you're a billionaire nowadays, you've hurt a lot of people. Okay, and that's true. I just don't have no respect for rich folks like that. Man, how much money do you need? You talk about, oh, just go to school, we'll get an education, do this and do that, and then what? Still struggle, still be riddled with debt and all of that, man, when, there's no reason why no child should suffer here. In the world, I mean, not just in the Philippines, but around the world. It's just too much greed, man. That's the problem. Yeah, you don't want no unnecessary attention, man. But I would, if I'm gonna, no matter if I'm gonna draw out 10,000 or whatever it is, I go to the Save More. I go inside the store. They got a BDO ATM there. Sometimes I do it, right at the city mall. But hell, they got two guards right there at the door. But do I go somewhere in the cut and pull out money out of the ATM? No. First of all, I don't trust the ATMs. You got to be careful. They got skimmers over here. It's not Filipinos doing it, though. They got gypsies over here. Certainly when you go to these, um, like Boracay, whenever you go to these tourist spots, man, you better be real careful about these ATM machines, okay? Because they're skimming, man, and they're making a killing. The one guy, the last guy that's been in the paper who got caught, he was being greedy. When they caught him, he had already had like 350,000 pesos on him. Like, dude, why are you being greedy? Just that's good for a 1 day haul. But he got greedy. So you can imagine how much money they was getting. But they said it's usually around, certainly in Cebu and Manila and in different places, be careful. He said, I never use ATMs outside, and I never use ATM when the bank is closed. Well, that's a great idea. That saved me one time because I'm down in Zamboanga, and when I put my card in, because I didn't call and tell my bank. This is early on. This is 2010, and it took my card. Good thing that bank was open. I went in there, and then they put me through hell to get my card back because guess what? I hadn't signed it. He said, man, it sounds like my visit will be short and mostly just to say, yeah, I've been there. Well, I don't know why. This is why we're saying that there's more to the Philippines than people give it credit for. There's not millions of people coming here for nothing. People that stay here and they're happy as hell. You heard you dirty puppy. And people like me, there's a lot of us, man, they don't have YouTube channels. Okay? And you're always going to hear the horror story. Well, there's some beautiful places here, man. Look at Michael Beach Alive. He's there. He's been here. He's young. He could probably live anywhere in Southeast Asia he wanted. He lives here. You know, you just got to come over here and make up your own mind, man. Stop letting people make up your mind for you. That's what I said on my video yesterday. Yeah, it's good to listen to bloggers and to your family and to other expats. But at the end of the day, you got to make the decision. I mean, I'm not going to let anybody make any decisions for me anymore. Okay? And that's what I got on here. It says at this stage in our lives, we no longer need to explain our decision because that's what people want. Why are you going to the Philippines? Because I want to. Because I can. He says, wait, hold on. Okay. He says, I use 3 different sources to get money, 3 different cards. I learned a hard lesson about that. Never again. I just try to keep it as simple as I can. Hey, Slick Bronx, thanks for that super chat. He said, the guys are with you coolest. What do you mean by that? I know I'm a square man. Square guys, they last longer over here. He says, weren't you on some He-Man, manly, I'm the master of the house type shit the other day? Now your girl got to hold your money to be safe. Who is it? You talking about, TJ? Shoot. Let's see. I was hoping I didn't do that. He said, so it's best to go to the bank. I go use ATM in the morning because I don't hang out at night anyway. I'm just trying to ask you what's the safest place. Yeah, just keep it simple, man. Just use your common sense, Raymond. Don't make it complicated. Okay, if you're gonna go to an ATM, go where it's safe. If you're at the mall and you're gonna see 4 or 5 ATM machines in a row from different banks, do it there. Okay, but just use your common sense. Don't make it complicated. I mean, it's not like it's not like going to the west side of Chicago or the south side of Chicago or something like that over here. But you do have opportunities. Petty crime is always high over here in the Philippines. If they can get your wallet or something like that, there's certain places in the Philippines you'll see it. They'll have signs up. If you go to Carbone in Cebu, and it's close quarters, they'll have signs on the store. Watch your There's pickpockets here. You know, watch your wallet. The Beach of Life says if you're going to get held up at gunpoint, God forbid the foreigner is going to be hit first, regardless of who's carrying the cash. Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing about over here is in most of the stories that I've heard, they kill you anyway, you give them the money. That's the crazy thing. They're going to shoot you anyway, even if you give them the money. It's like, you know, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. They always tell you, yeah, go ahead and give them the money. But hell, over here, they're going to shoot you anyway. It's like, man, I can't speak Tagalog. I can't speak Messiah. I'm not going to tell on you, man. Just take my money and let me live to see another day. I can get more money. My life is real precious. You just have to be careful, man. That's anywhere, though. But certainly, you know, if you overseas, this is a lot. We never talk about this. We never talk about, you know, keeping yourself safe over here. We take for granted that we're going to be safe. Yeah, we take for granted that nobody's ever going to bother you over here. People getting drunk, you know. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff over here. I mean, people getting in fights with locals, you know, because you can't own a gun. They can own guns. They carry, you know, most Filipino men carry a knife. Certainly these tricycle drivers, jeepney drivers, and stuff like that. If you get into it with them, you know they're going to pull out a knife. And they don't fight fair. They're going to jump you. That's the guy down in Dumaguete who got killed. He's drunk. Now, he's a good guy, really. He's teaching at Silliman University. He goes to one of the clubs, gets drunk, gets into it with a local. They call him outside, and like a fool, he goes out there. And they jump him, and they beat him to death. No one's ever been charged with that. He said, deciding where to land first, Philippines, Panama, or Lima, just trying to move smart as a black man abroad. Yeah, well, I would go to all of them then. Otherwise, how you going to make an informed choice? You know, I had a friend, Achilles. He came from Panama to the Philippines. Now he's in Vietnam. He likes it in Vietnam. But he says he likes the people in the Philippines better. But Lima, Peru, I've never been to Peru. Now, I've been to Colombia. I've been to Brazil. Now, I believe Brazil is close to Peru, right? Am I right about that? He says, I've learned that if you've got to use an ATM at the airport, it's best to use one attached to a bank kiosk because those are tougher to skim. I think you should be okay in the airport, but a lot of these tourist places, this is what the Philippine National Police tell you. You know, they saying this is where they call them Eastern Europeans, but they're gypsies. And they can you imagine how long they must have been ripping people off here before they realized what was going on? They just got greedy. So whenever you're in Marlboro or any of these Oslo, any of these Bantayan Island, Palawan, any of these tourist places, man, you got to be real skeptical with ATM machines. And don't use that yellow and blue ATM. They really gonna get you. They charge you 11% to draw out your money, man. They got me good. And the day of was it the day of the meet and greet? No. It was the last time we were in Siki Hall. I couldn't believe it. They charged me, let's see. I took out 10,000 pesos. Don't you know they charged me about $30 to do that? Never again. So I'm telling y'all. But yeah, we want to talk about you will be attacked when you visit the Philippines, and it's because the reputation the Philippines has, and it's they've had this reputation long before you were probably born. But it's time that we squash that. There's no reason for you to be ashamed. Why not the Philippines? And you'll be shocked when you do come over here at what you're gonna find. You're gonna be like, man, I didn't even know all this was over here. I thought I was gonna come to some shithole place. No, it's gonna really shock you, man, when you get to the Philippines, because they call the Philippines a third world country. It's not, man. It's above a third world country. It's on the line with Brazil, South Africa. It's a bunch of places that the Philippines, their economy is on line with. It's one of the top economies in Southeast Asia. Believe it or not, it's right behind Thailand. But it's not a third world country. No way in the world is a third world country. I was telling Merlin that when we were in Cebu and we were going past the new bridge that they built that goes over to Cordova. Man, third world country build nothing like that. Do they have third world poverty here? Yeah. But the Philippines is not a third world country. It's not Haiti. Okay, I'm sorry. It's not the Congo and the South Sudan and all of that. Sub-Saharan Africa, it's not that, man. But does it have third world poverty? Yeah. He says, in search of truth, he says, hey, Cal, my sweet Filipina is from Zamboanga City. Did I see somewhere that your son lives there? Have you ever lived there? We're still in Texas, but planning retirement in the next 4 years. I used to live there on and off for 10 years. My son is in America now. Him and his mother. That's where my wife was from. Now, Zamboanga has a history. Okay, in 2013, they had the siege. Maybe your wife has heard about that, where where the bad guys came over from Swaziland. And the government forces had to come in there and over a month or two and get them out. A lot of people lost their homes. A lot of people lost their lives. But ever since then, it's been quiet. I never had any problems there. Zamboanga City is it's an urban city. It's Expat Alley. It has the airport. It has the immigration. It has the big malls now, but it has that reputation. But I've never been treated better than I have than when I was in Zamboanga City. The people down there are just unbelievable. But I do want to tell you that it has a history, and they're not far from the bad guys. Swaziland is only a 45-minute ferry ride away. The bad guys are there in Zamboanga City, but they're not going to mess with you there. It's too many witnesses. You got all that military, all the police. You got U.S. military there. That's just my knowledge of it. The United States government knows a lot more than me. It says stay away from places like that. But I had no choice. I really didn't know about Zamboanga City until they told me. After I'd been there a couple of times, my girlfriend, who eventually became my wife, she said, yeah, it's bad here. And she said, don't ever say I boo say out here. And I'm like, well, why would you tell me that now? Now I'm looking over my shoulder, but I enjoyed my time there. It's a beautiful place. But yeah, I mean, would I live there? Well, like I said, it's been quiet for the last 12 years. But it has that history, okay? I'm sorry. And they do have some beautiful women there. So I know your wife is probably beautiful. He said, better to have it on you than not. What do you mean? We never even talk about weapons. Can we carry any type of weapons? I would at least have some type of pepper spray. And they said foreigners can carry certain type of knives. I would find out which knives those are. He says you don't need a gun or knife. You'll lose anyway. If you use either, you're automatically going to prison. Well, you know, the Philippines has a sort of stand your ground law here, though. They do have a self-defense law here that they abide by. But I think with a gun, yeah, you're going to jail, but you could probably, you know, if it's self-defense, you know, a lot of people try to get around that. They'll say, well, I'm gonna get my wife a gun. Well, y'all know how that usually turns out. What usually happens is in 95% of the cases, man, where people are shot in their homes, it's with their own gun. I don't want a gun anywhere near me. I didn't grow up with guns, you know, even though we've had some real serious talks about getting Merlin a gun, at least taking lessons, you know, getting qualified to buy a gun. But if I really thought I needed one, man, I wouldn't be here, man. Hey, David Shue Clips, thanks for that super chat. He said, Calvin, I hope you visit Africa someday. Even if it's one time, there's something to learn from on such a trip. Now, we went to Mombasa, Kenya on the USS John F. Kennedy. I went through the Suez Canal, but you're talking about 40 years ago. You know, eventually, you know, because a lot of my friends are going to Africa now. Guys who've been here before, they're going to Africa, you know, certainly Nigeria. A lot of guys are going there. A friend of mine who's from Louisville, and he was married to a Filipino. They got 2 kids, but he said that's his place now. That's his go-to place now. Nigeria. No, Kenya. Not Nigeria. Kenya is where they're going. Hey, Unfiltered Black Abroad. I'm on my phone. I'll get you a super chat in a minute. I can't read it. But you know, when people start giving you the 411 about coming to the Philippines, just remember that they really don't care. More than likely, they've never been here before. It's just a topic of discussion. They really don't care, man. You only live once, man. You don't have any set number of years on this earth. You can be taken out at any time. You can lose your life. You can be robbed of your life at any time. Were I you, I would live like me. If I want to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm not even going to hesitate. Because hesitating may be too late. People think it's all about sex. And in a lot of cases, men do come over here for a wife or girlfriend. There's nothing wrong with that. Sex is natural. Why do we look down on that? As long as it's 2 consenting adults, whose business is it? You know, we're not talking about pedophilia and all that stuff. You know, even if you're talking about going to bars and stuff like that, that's a consensual transaction. But there's more to the Philippines than that. And the people who get on our case about coming over here, they have no idea. They think it's just some shithole place. It's not. If y'all don't know how picky I am, man, y'all don't know. I'm a Gemini, man, so I get bored with stuff. I've never gotten bored over here. I've never gotten bored over here. I like it that much here. I can go anywhere I want to go, man. My YouTube channel, I got Social Security. I've got my renewals. I could live in Thailand better than I live here. But I just like it here. I like the way people treat me here. I feel safe here. You know, and then you got to understand that when you live in a place like the Philippines, there's so many opportunities here. if you got your eyes and ears open, but we don't have our eyes and ears open. I would rather come to a place like this, a developing place, than somewhere that's already developed. Okay? That there's not a whole lot more of improvement that can be done. The Philippines is growing, man. It's only been sovereign since 1946. It's not even 80 years old. Go back and see what America was like 80 years old. It's not like Israel. They don't have all the help that Israel has. Israel was established about the same time, 1948, under total different circumstances and everything like that. Okay? It doesn't get all the backing from the United States that Israel does and all that. The Philippines is only, it's not even 80 years old yet. This is what you have to understand, man. You got to take all that into account. He says, Bacala Will says, not being able to own a gun is one of the primary reasons I don't stay in a house. Security is important. Condo living is more my speed. And yeah, it is a whole lot safer, but I'm going to tell you this. Only because it's a bunch of condo units, not because of those security guards. Because those security guards that earning 400, 500 pesos a day, they're not going to save you. They're going to get out of the way when people come through there with guns. That's how one of the last foreigners that got killed around here in Bacolod, by the way, in that nice community with the armed guard at the entrance. He didn't stop the bad guys. He got out of the way. But yeah, only because they're not going to know which door to knock on. It's going to be like a maze trying to find you. I would say, yeah, condo living is a whole lot safer than just sitting on an island like I am. That's 100% fact. You're true. That's true. But like I said, if I really felt that I was in any kind of danger, I wouldn't be here, man. I don't live like that, you know, because believe it or not, it can happen to you anywhere. But I'm more likely to get in trouble in America than here. My enemies aren't here. And then every other day it was drama with my daughters, man, you know, because I'm not going to really let anybody do anything to my daughters. But at the same time, it's like, you chose that man. Don't be calling me every other day talking about y'all into it and all of that. And they just killing you for nothing over there. I mean, really, you get into an argument, it's over. You ain't got to be in an argument. Oh, here it is, Q. Thank you for that super chat. He says, we constantly complain about no due process with these illegal immigrants. How come we don't keep that same energy about the Philippines? Well, what are you talking about? I don't understand. The Philippines and America is two different countries, man. I'm not a Filipino. I don't live in the Philippines. The Philippines has no due process. So you knowing that, you got to expect certain things to happen over here. I'm talking about in America. I posted something because they pick and choose every time an immigrant does something over there. They put it on the news, but they don't splash the news when Americans commit crimes over there. We're creating more crime. We're committing more crimes and more chaos in America than any illegal immigrant. Don't ever fall for that. Okay? We got enough crime over there. We don't need illegal immigrants to commit. How many mass shootings? Look at what happened at Fort Stewart? When the gay guy's coming out now that one of the people he shot was his lover. And the man who was married, according to the news, the person he was married to, you know, is identified as a woman. They were in the process of a divorce. He's fooling around. He's going to shoot 4 servicemen. That wasn't an illegal immigrant. That was some old jacked up gay man, you know, in some kind of love problems. But yeah, we're talking about America. The Philippines doesn't have any due process, Q, so you need to know that. When you come over here acting a fool, there's no due process. There's no right to a speedy trial. There's no right to a bail and all of that. We talk about that all the time over here. You go to places, not just the Philippines, but we go to all these countries, we don't even know their laws. Remember, there's only two things I follow in the world. I obey the law wherever I am, and I don't violate the rights of my fellow man. Everything else, man, we're human beings. Okay? And nothing's off the table. But those two things, yeah, I value. But we don't know the laws where we're going. You don't know the laws in Thailand. You always bragging about Thailand. You do not know the laws over there. Or Vietnam. And all those other places y'all go to. Brazil, Colombia. Well, you better know the law. Your rights and everything. Yeah. There is no due process here. That's why you're basically guilty until proven innocent. Y'all think I'll be playing when I'm on here talking about the American who spent 5 years in prison here. He was falsely accused of rape, even though he was 10 hours away when the crime supposed to happen. It's documented. He got receipts. The lady didn't charge him to 6 months later. Okay, there was no physical evidence at all that he ever even touched the woman. She was mad at him because she thought he was hiding her husband. So they bust in his house with the police, traumatized his son. He filed charges against the lady. So the lady says, okay, I'm going to file charges against you. He raped me. And they got receipts where the woman was trying to get him to pay her. She was trying to blackmail him. Not one time, not two times, not three times, 5 times over 5 years for her to drop the charges if he gave her 2 million, 1 million. It kept going down like that. The first day he went to court, guess what? They threw it out. No evidence. But he spent 5 years there because there's no due process. There's no right to a speedy trial. That's an unbailable offense. Rape and all that stuff like that. You know, because people are asking me about Derek Q and all that. I don't know his business. I don't know his business. That guy, you know, some guy wrote me an email. Oh, he's got a warrant for this and that. How did he get out of the country? I don't know. You got to talk to him about that. I don't know, but some offenses are unbailable. There's no bail. And rape is one of them. Yeah, Thomas, y'all didn't meet at the meet and greet in Cordova, Mike? Because y'all both were there. But yeah, a lot of places we go, we don't know the law, man. We take for granted. I don't know the damn law. Where you going, huh? I'll get Sophia. He said at RL, this dude is taking everything backwards. I agree on the immigration issue, but only for hardcore criminals. This dude is unraveling shit and bypassing all the rules. Yeah, he's an effing felon. He's not doing anything new, guys. Okay, this open border and all this illegal immigrant has been on the books for a long, long time. This is one of the reasons, you know, presidents. This is part of their campaign. But you can't get rid of illegal immigrants in America. Not all of them. It's part of the system. Where some of the jobs in America will only be performed by illegals. You heard what the guy said. He pushed back on Trump, one of Trump's biggest supporters in the hotel industry. He said these people are irreplaceable. Who's going to do that job? Okay, for $3 an hour or whatever they're paying. Okay, this is just rhetoric. Look at all this president we got right now. He's such a hypocrite. Okay, all the illegal immigrants he was hiring to build those casinos and everything, and now all of a sudden he wants to be, the immigration president. He ain't gonna get rid of more than Obama did. Imagine Obama got rid of 3 million. But it's gonna keep happening over and over and over. It's just that's a part of life. But people are so stupid, they don't understand that. Okay, and what if they did get rid of all the illegal immigrants in America? Okay, what would that do? You're not gonna stop crime. You're not gonna stop illegal activity in a country that was built illegally. It was founded illegally. There's always going to be illegal activity in America. You're not going to stop it, man. But that's that old Christian right stuff that they're talking. You heard the guy was on the news the other day. So he's a Christian from the right talking about, church and state, but he said Christ and state, no. He's talking about he wants a government that says, oh, you got an OnlyFans business. Oh, well, you need to go out of business. That's the crazy stuff we're living in today, man. Come on, guys. It's always going to be illegal shit going on in America. It was founded illegally. But y'all just want somebody to blame for your, because you inept, because you can't get it done. I'm going to blame black people. I'm going to blame immigrants. I'm going to blame gays and whoever else. Poor people. If we just get them out of the way, let me, so I can get up. Well, you're supposed to be superior. You're going to rise to the top, but you're not. That's some rhetoric, man. Come on, guys. Get rid of immigration, man. Yeah, he was 10 hours away and still got accused. It was 6 months later, after the crime supposedly had happened. No physical evidence at all. But one of these days, y'all gonna listen to somebody. You come over here, you shut the fuck up and mind your own business, wherever you are. But we come over here thinking we run the Philippines and Thailand and places like that. People are real ignorant, man. You need to keep as low profile as you possibly can. Don't get into arguments with people. Okay, the taxi driver wants to cheat you out of 200 pesos. Give him the 200 pesos and live to see another day. Okay? Be straight up with these women when you deal with them. So there's no room for accusations and all of that. But we come over here like we run this place over here, and you don't, because you don't know the law. Man spent 5 years, and then to add insult to injury, guess what? They wouldn't let him leave the country. You got to pay for the 5 years you overstayed. Yeah, they did that to him. Okay? They would not waive that. So his family had to come up with that money. Whatever it was, 250,000 pesos, whatever it was, 5 years worth of overstay fees before they let him leave the country. That's a true story. But we don't know nothing. Y'all don't listen. He said, don't matter what my motives are, we come to the Philippines legally. But you're talking about 2 different countries, Q. What is it about that you don't understand? This isn't America. This is the Philippines. And it doesn't matter what you think about illegal immigration. It's not going to stop. We have this discussion all the time. You're in the Philippines, so you're under Philippine jurisdiction. Okay, why are you worried about that? America is America. They have their own laws. And if they catch you overstaying over here, you just heard me say it. This man was found innocent of a bogus crime, but he overstayed for 5 years. So they made him pay. They're going to put you out of the country. You think that you could just be here illegally and the Philippines is going to allow it. No, they've got immigration laws too. Everybody does. But they don't have an ICE over here like America does. A Gestapo, basically. Okay, where anybody that looks foreign, they stopping them. They throwing out this wide net, pulling everybody in. And if you innocent, okay, so what? We'll apologize. And then they'll get the 2 or 3 illegals. And like Cisco said the other day, he said, if these people are supposed to be criminals, why are they getting them on their jobs? They're at school, okay, at their businesses. If they're such criminals, man, it's all politics, man. It's all rhetoric. He ain't going to change nothing. Then people push back so much on him that he said, okay, I'm pulling back on the farmers and the hotel industry because crops is rotten in the field. Because you, Q, you the one that worried about it. You go over there and pick turnips for $3 a day or $2 an hour. You're not going to do it. So shut up about it, man. It's bigger than what you think. You're just listening to the shit on the news. It's much bigger than what they're making it out to be. They're making it out to be the simple solution. Oh, I got the solution to this simple problem. No, it's bigger than that. Okay? You ain't gonna pick strawberries and all that other stuff, man. Over there. Somebody's got to do it. But anything to keep you distracted. Oh, good well, you ain't gonna do no shit like that, man. Yeah, backed up crank user. Yeah, but you know, they don't have that ice, man. Ice is gone crazy over in America, man. But we don't care. We let it go. We act like, oh, it's no big deal. And that's your brothers and your fathers and everything behind the mask. Imagine you always got mask on. Take them damn mask off. But I left, man. That's why I left. Okay, because I'd go off over there after a while. I'm not like y'all. I'm not gonna keep on sitting by watching them do that. I was this close from being killed and going to jail when they ran in my house by mistake when the SWAT team ran. But y'all cowards over there. But then y'all come at us, the vloggers. You troll us and stalk us and stuff, but you getting your ass handed to you in America. You're getting treated like punks over there. Well, you ain't gonna do nothing. You don't sit back and act like, oh, I can't do anything. Yeah, you can. Even if they release the Epstein files, they're not gonna do anything. They eventually gonna do it after they done sanitized them, and they was like, oh, there's nothing to see here. And even if they do release them, why do they have to release them when you know that these people were sexually abusing these children? Why do you need that kind of proof? You know it's already done. There's a woman in jail right now for 20 years for it. You're going to tell me that she's the only one? That's just an excuse. You know good and well they raping those little kids. The lady came on TV. If you don't believe the victims, who you going to believe? The woman came on there and said, yeah, you got a picture with him and Prince Andrew. He raped me when I was 17. What's happened? Nothing. Look at the guy, Pete Hegseth. Okay, they swept that under the rug. He's sharing national secrets on a damn public app. Man, y'all crazy over there, man. And you gonna talk about um illegal immigration. That's really uh, your president is a criminal. He said, I don't understand how y'all. We're not supporting criminals. We're saying it's a part of the system. When they catch them, guess what? They deport them. But we don't have enough ICE agents. You realize there's 400 million people in America, approximately. About 16 million immigrants. How many of them are illegal? We don't have the manpower. But they got you believing that we do, that we can clean. All we got to do is change the laws. How many gun laws we got, and people still getting gunned down in grocery stores, at church, minding their own damn business. That's just rhetoric, man. But y'all dumb enough to keep going for it. You really think that they're going to get rid of illegal immigrants? I got some swampland for you over here. He said the only reason the immigration issue is getting pressed is because of where the people are from. If it was people north of the border, it would be crickets. It's true, man. It's true. But if you call America, I asked Chat GPT, I said, does America promote white supremacy? Absolutely it does. Okay? But if you say that, they in denial. America's a racist country, man. Their policies are racist. Their legislation is racist. You can't argue with me about that. They promote white supremacy. That's what they do. They did it right in front of your face. They brought in some white South Africans that said that there was a white genocide going on in South Africa. Whatever happened to that genocide over there? You haven't heard any more from it. Now they're trying to get back home because the grass isn't always green on the other side. It's like people in America are crazy. I'd rather deal with the shit I got to deal with in South Africa. Man, America is crazy over there. And white folks be like, oh, okay, I'd rather be white somewhere else. They'll be white in America. He says, I want God. He said, want God to laugh, tell him your plan. I'm 69. I told my doctor what I was going to be doing when I'm 80, and he laughed. American doctors think they are gods. All I can say is, who last laugh? Well, they most of them doctors die before their patients. They do have a God syndrome. But I say live now, Harry. He said, I got a letter asking me to come back to work to round up Mexicans paying a $50,000 bonus. I replied with absolutely not. I stand with my Latino brothers and sisters. All money ain't good money. Yeah, it's not going to make any difference, man. They've been doing this for decades. And it's still a problem because it's always going to be a problem. It's just rhetoric to keep the white folks and all the other racist people happy. Oh, look what we're doing. We're getting rid of them. You're no smarter. You're no smarter. If you can't solve Chinese arithmetic with illegal aliens here, you're not going to be able to solve it when they get rid of illegal aliens. You're just as stupid now as you're going to be if they get rid of all illegal aliens. You're going to be worse off then. The country's going to crumble. The economy is going to crash. But y'all don't read. Y'all don't know nothing. All y'all do is listen to what these people tell y'all. That's why we're in such a problem. That's why we're in such trouble, I mean. Y'all follow the followers. He said, now, well, it's all about money, man. He can't get it legally. He's getting it illegally. How can a man have casinos in Atlantic City, the only game in town, and they go bankrupt? But his leaders, that's not only, all you got to do is look at his record. He's not this great businessman. They sold y'all on The Apprentice. That shit was scripted. Trump is not some brilliant businessman. Now he's using the office of the president to get all this money for him and his family illegally. He accepted a $400 million plane, and he's, let's get off Trump. Let's get off Trump, because I don't even give a damn about it. I don't give a damn about Trump. He said, Unc, I just finished watching a documentary. I didn't know you were still on. People did watch Sunshine Shows and the Good Brother, Richie Rich. They don't want men with good-looking Asian women. Yeah, I don't understand that, Remember, they really don't care. They do that for clicks and views, and, they're miserable themselves. And remember, Rashad, I don't give a damn. I'm over here. I'm happy, man. I'm joyous. I'm free. And, if that's all they want to do with their precious time is dick watch me, let them do it. They're never going to come up on me and do it in my face. They can make all the videos they want. They just pulling more people toward my channel because nobody watches them. Imagine dick watching me. That's better than beating off, because that's all they doing over there. That's why they mad at you when you come to the Philippines. They knowing you getting it on. Yeah, they know you getting the tune up, the oil change, the lube job, everything. And they getting nothing. So they're mad. That's what Richie Rich said. He said, those people come after you, Cal, because you got something they want that they don't got. He said it's pure jealousy. I got to agree with him. Wouldn't you be mad at somebody if you beating your dick every damn night, beating yourself unconscious, and you see me over here, with a woman in tip-top condition that'll bend over backwards, do anything for me? I'm getting the real thing. I'm not fucking my imagination. That's what they doing. Ain't nothing like the real thing. Your imagination can't fuck with the real thing, dude. So keep on making them videos if you want. Every damn night you beating yourself off, dreaming and everything. Got porn playing 24 hours on your TV, and you worry about me over here. Yeah, you're right, Richie Rich. He said, bend over forward, too, respectfully. Yeah, that's all it is. You should be happy. You should be saying, man, look, let me get some of that. But no, we hustle backwards. We hate on each other. That crabs in the burrow mentality. I'm miserable, so I want you to be miserable. I'm not going to be miserable. If you don't waste your precious time worrying about me, because I got 3,000 videos. I've never made a video about another man. I never will. Give a damn what you doing. He said, Unc, I'm surprised as famous as you are. You've been loyal to your woman. I know the temptation is real, but it's really not. I've been there. I've done that. Remember, I'm a square now, Q. I started coming here when I was 45. I've done all that. I know now that, it's just a different face. It takes about, if you come over here bone dry, because when I came over here, me and my wife was in the process of a divorce. Wasn't nothing going on in the bedroom. I was bone dry. It takes you about a year or two to empty your sack. And once your sack is empty, you're not looking, it's just not the same anymore. You know, you're looking for other things to do over here. Can I really live here? Can I really adapt over here? Let me see what this place looks like over here. It ain't even about women anymore. He said, "What are your favorite islands in the Philippines? I visited twice and would be back." Oh man, it's too many. They're all my favorite. I love the beach, but honestly, to give you my answer, I have to say Malapascua is one of my favorite because they had that strength. There's nobody was there. Glen, in the Sarangani province, there was nobody there. I mean, that's the tip, the southernmost tip in the Philippines. But it's just so many, man. It's just so many. But I've only been, and imagine, I've been here for almost 17 years. I've only been to 18 islands. Now, 2,000 islands are inhabited over here. El Brother Lander. So I got a lot to go. I love Panglao. I haven't even been to Puerto Galera yet. I haven't been to Surigao yet. I haven't been to Palawan. Imagine. But I've been to Lackawan Island. A lot of people don't go there. Sapaway Island. It's just so many, man. But this is what the Philippines is about. But people will put you down for coming over here. They're like, oh, ain't nothing over here. Man, I met an American guy who had been here for 22 years. He told me, he said, Cal, I've been here 22 years. I've only scratched the surface of seeing the Philippines. Because, first of all, you can't see it all. Okay? That's, first, there's just too much to see. There's nobody that can come here and put the Philippines down because you've only been to a handful of places. Philippines doesn't suffer from over tourism. You can go places here, El Brother Lander, and you be the only one on the whole damn beach. I've done that so many times. That's one of the appeal. That's one of the appeal, of the Philippines. It doesn't get the credit for being the quiet place that it is, man. I'm telling you, man. Some places you can go to, man. Go to Glen. I dare you to go there in the Sarangani province. Go back and when did we do? When were we at that meet and greet? Was that last July? Sort of August. And TJ put it on us in Davao. Well, we went to Glen the very next day. Beautiful. Nobody there. The beach, I guarantee you the beach was, I think the lady said a half a kilometer long. Me and Merle was the only people on that damn beach. Then here come one family, a local family. Beautiful. Yeah, empty your sack. That's how long it takes to get all that out of your system. You know. But remember, Cisco said it. This is a marathon, guys. It's not a sprint. And that's why guys mess up. They come over here trying to do it all overnight. You can't do it, man. You better slow your roll when you come over here to the Philippines. Take it all in, man. Remember what the big bull said to the little bull? See all them cows down there? He want to rush down there. He said, hey, and fuck them all. The big bull says, no, let's walk down. Let's take our time and fuck them one by one. That's the way you do it. But I'm not even talking about sex. I'm talking about seeing this whole place for what it really is. There ain't no shame in my game for being over here. People think that that's all it is about the Philippines. Um, it's sex and women, man. That's all. You're only scratching the surface. He says, why are Americans not upset about pedophilia but sensitive to other bullshit issues? This is what I just said when he first brought that up. I said, all the stuff that's going on illegally over in America, and you want to bring up illegal immigration. Of all the stuff, why is that at the top of the list? Is all I'm saying. When you got these men that you follow so well, they're over there raping. That's what you don't have sex with underage children. You rape them. That's rape. Statutory rape, whatever you want to call it. But you don't have a problem with that. So Q wants to come on here and act like if we just clean up illegal immigration, that's going to solve the problems in America. That's bullshit, man. They've been trying that stuff my whole life. Oh, if we just, get rid of black people or get them straight, the country's going to be better. Oh, we just get rid of poor people. Now it's immigrants. It'll be, well, it was gays, then immigrants. Meanwhile, they're robbing you blind. Okay. Meanwhile, they're manipulating the reports that's coming out now. The job reports, the economy. You can't believe anything that you see in the news anymore. It's all fixed, man. It's all crazy. The guy comes out with the job reports. It don't look good like Trump wants, so Trump fires him and hires somebody in his place, one of his cronies, that's going to cook the books. We've seen Enron and all that before, man. You can't believe nothing that's going on now. Nor could you ever, really. But now they're just playing in our face now. They're doing it now like, well, they don't care what you think. Anytime he's going to suck a damn Russian dictator's nuts on live television, we're in trouble, man. We're in trouble. He said, I think they really want to be you. They use all your words, fourth quarter, old heads. I think they want to be you, Cal. But when another blogger talks bad about them and their wife, they say nothing. Yeah, it's hypocrisy. Even Fred Flintstone, if somebody really started making videos about him, he couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle it. They're all hypocrites. You got to be a weak man to do that. That's all I'm saying. And I know who you're talking about. Yeah, when they talk about him, he does nothing. Okay, he jumped on their bandwagon. He was like their pit bull that they sent out to me. Oh, let's send a black man after me. Fool, I'm still on here. That guy that sent you after me, he no longer has a channel. These guys want to be part of the group. You never be accepted. You're never going to be accepted, man. What I look like coming all the way overseas or anywhere really and picking a fight with another black man. When them people that's laughing at you, you think they're laughing with you, they're laughing at you. They ain't gonna give you a damn dime if something were to go wrong over here. He says, will you be attacked by Filipinos for dating Filipinas? He says, especially with a large age gap. Absolutely not, because I heard somebody say something real profound. It was a Filipino. He said, no, because we know that she's got the upper hand in that relationship. Okay? And for him to say that, it was profound. They don't care, man, because they know they're going to benefit. And I asked Merlin the same question. You know what she had told me? As long as it's not his wife or his girlfriend, they don't care. Okay? But you're not going to come over here and mistreat them either. This is what we think. We think that they don't care on that level. No, they care on that level. Yeah, they care on that level because the German had to find out the wrong, he had to find that out the wrong way. He was mistreating two bar girls. And the locals kicked his ass, robbed him, and then had him deported. And these were bar girls. He says, cool, thanks. I didn't like Angeles or Cebu. How's Bahal? Bahal is good, but what do you mean you didn't like Cebu? You mean Cebu City? Remember, Cebu is an island. Okay, Cebu has some of the nicest beaches in the Philippines, but they're far from Cebu City. Malboal, Aslav, Malapascua, Argyle, Bantayan Island. What's the one? The little bitty island that's off the coast of Cebu. Um, it's only like it's in between Cebu and Lady. What's the name of that? That I went there before. Um, I can't think of it. It'll get to me. It's so many islands on Cebu, man. So you must have just went to Cebu City. He says, I think I've been to about 10 islands. Yeah, it's just too many to see. You're not going to see this place. You can't go enough places. There's nobody that I know that's been to enough places that can even pass judgment on the Philippines. You've seen so little of it. And then when you go to Thailand, it's the same thing. You've been to about 6 or 7 places there. You don't know nothing about Thailand, man. Y'all sound like fools when you start to compare these places. The man, bumps and bruises, stayed in my guest house. He's been living in Thailand for 20 years. He said, Calvin, anybody that tries to compare the Philippines and Thailand sounds like a fool because they haven't seen enough of the places. He said he did a whole motorcycle tour around the Philippines. He said he saw some eighth wonder of the world stuff over here in the Philippines that you would never see in Thailand. He said, but nobody was there because they don't know it even exists. We stay in the same little pocket of places. Cebu, Manila, Angeles City, Subic Bay, all the Expat Alley, then what, Boracay, only a handful of places, guys. There's 2,000, listen to me, there's 2,000 inhabited islands here. Okay? You go see all of them, then you come back and talk to me about the Philippines and what it is and what it isn't. Until then, shut the fuck up, man. Y'all sound stupid. And then find your sweet spot. I got a sweet spot over here. It don't have to be in Malaysia. That's the thing about, they'll attack you. Other expats will attack you. Oh, look at you. You live in the Philippines. Okay, so what? I'm living my best life over here. I'm living as good, if not better than you, wherever you live. But that's not even, I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm just going to live, man. It's not a game. He said, I visited 5 times. Davao City is voted 10th safest cities in the world. I Googled, I said, what's the city with the lowest cost of living? Davao came up. That shocked me. But some people don't like Davao because if you're younger and if you hip and cool, you're probably not going to like a lot of places in the Philippines. But if you're a square, if you like a simple lifestyle, you're going to love this place. But if it doesn't have a nightclub on every corner, if it doesn't have a walking street, 10 walking streets in a row, people say, oh, I don't like that place. Because they're looking for something totally different than what I'm looking for. He said, so Big Bro Cal, are you saying that 1 to 2 years of consistent daily sex will remove the thirst enough to focus? Absolutely. That's about what it takes. That's why when you look at these vloggers and you look at these commenters and people coming over here, you're like, well, how long have you been here? Well, you're not even seeing the real Philippines. Okay? Remember, we talked about this. Okay? You haven't even gotten to that point yet. You're still emptying your sack. You got a long way to go before you get out of that stage. Because we come over here bone dry. And they won't tell you that. They won't be honest about it. And then, after 1 or 2 years, the Philippines isn't good enough. Yeah, because you didn't empty your sack. Now you're this big bad man. Oh, I need to be in Thailand. I need to be in Malaysia or one of these fancy places. Now, yeah, because you done quenched your thirst. I know you guys, man. I see y'all every single day. I know what I'm talking about. But when you first get over here, it's the greatest place in the world. Yeah, there's no better place in the Philippines. I'm not going anywhere else. You see them bloggers, they move from the Philippines, after they, emptied their sack. Okay. They've had a post-nut analysis. That's all it is. Okay. Now they can talk about Philippines isn't good enough for me anymore. It's a shithole, and I don't see how you can still be there, Cal. And I need this and I need that. No, you don't, man. You sound like a fool. I sit here and watch you, and people just like you talk that same bullshit. He said, the Sunshine shows, are you officially living 4 months between the Philippines and America? Well, not yet, because remember, I just got back from America. So I'm 2 months so far this year. It's 2 months and 6 months so far. So not official, but I think I'm going to go home before the end of the year, maybe around Christmas time. He said, oh man, Cal, I love my time in Puerto Galera. I spent 3 weeks there. I want to go back. Yeah, see, I've never even been there yet. But a lot of these guys, man, they haven't uh, seen anywhere near what they need to see over here before they can place judgment on this place. And I tell you, it's just a lot. I'm not going to lie to you because I don't have anything to prove to you. Okay, I'm not going to say that, I like it over here if I didn't like it. It just depends on what you like and what you're looking for. I knew what I was looking for when I came here in 2009. When I got off the plane and the woman's waiting for me at the airport with the sign with my name on it, welcome to the Philippines, I knew then I'm going to come back. I'm going to live here one time because they're never going to do that for you over there. It's a total different place. Okay, my lifestyle in America damn near killed me. I was looking for something different. I don't want the same thing here as I was getting there, just for less money. That's what most people want. They want to come over here or wherever they go. They want the same life they lived in America, just less money. No, I wanted something totally different. That woman standing there with that sign, it freaked me out, man. I couldn't believe it. And I'm riding in the taxi. You get that smell of the Philippines, and it's quiet. And I'm in Lapu-Lapu. I didn't even know it, you know. And I've never even thought of living anywhere else. I've been to Thailand, okay, and there's nothing wrong with Thailand. I don't knock Thailand, but I'd rather be here. Cause see, just because you can't see what's over here, don't mean I can't see it. I see it clearly. He said, Unc, I told the fellas I'm leaning toward visiting the Philippines when my settlement check comes. And these brothers laughing at me saying going to Colombia or the DR. Why do people hate on Southeast Asia so much? Saying, well, because they never been. Remember, the reason I don't go to Colombia, DR, Mexico, places like it's too close to the United States. You're gonna run into the same bullshit in those places as you do in America. I don't want to run into that. I want to be arguing with somebody over, how they treating Shadura Sanders in Cleveland and all of that. I don't want to run into that. I had enough of that. I don't want that anymore. Shadura Sanders don't even know you. Hey, but we'll argue about that, and we'll lose our minds over that. And the only reason I bring up Trump is people bring it up. I don't be looking at the news, looking at Trump all the time. He said, I've not been to the Philippines in 5 years, but if I get my STCW training in Malaysia or Thailand, I'm going to visit the Philippines. Well, you can have it all over here. I don't understand why y'all can't understand that. You've been lied to. They tell you can't have it all. You can't have it all within reason. Well, what? You got to pay for it, and you got to pay for it in advance and in full. But we want everything for nothing. You got men coming over in the Philippines trying to get these young, attractive women for nothing. No, it's going to cost you. You got to jump through circles. I mean, you got to jump through hoops just to get here. So all you tough guys say, oh, I'm not paying for nothing. Fool, you already paid. These tickets aren't cheap to come over here. Then you got to get on that 10K for 20 hours. Then you got to pay for your time when you over here. So you ain't getting nothing for free. You know better than me. You in the 8,000 mile club. And while I'm at it, I forgot to bring my 8,000 mile patches to the last meet and greet. I won't forget this time. Y'all know y'all part of the 8,000 mile club. These are the patches. And 400 pesos each. I just use the money for my spin wheel. But I'm going to have to come up with something else now because, hell, here's Marilyn's phone. The spin wheel's on the phone, and it won't even come on anymore. I'm going to take this. I'm going to get her a new phone, but this is the only phone I've bought Marilyn in our 6.5 years. An Oppo. The basic Oppo. I think I paid $5,000 for it. It finally went out, but I got to get this thing on because the spin wheel's here. But yeah, you part of the 8,000 mile club. That's why I came up with that. For all you guys who think that you're so much better than everybody else, you flew that 8,000 miles. He said, I got my patch. Yeah, because you ain't in denial, Raymond. You the real deal. These guys think they're better than everybody else. He said, that was a good lick. You know, and then when you see guys like, okay, I'm going to bring Richie Rich into the conversation. Now, he could live anywhere. He came from China. He lived in China, but I think he said, 8 years, I think, or something? He's lived a bunch of places over here. Why is he here? He could live other places. What are you talking about, Angeli City? He says, probably the worst option possible for a new unemptied visitor. Yeah, if you're talking about Angeli's, because, you know, the problem that I've got is guys don't want to be honest. You know, they always want to pretend that their situation is better than what it is. You know why you come over here. And there's nothing wrong with that. But be honest about it. Don't try to think you better than. This is the reason why we get attacked in the first place. Instead of you saying, man, you know, mind your own business. I'm going to go wherever I want to go. You can think whatever you want to think. No, I'm coming over here, you know, I'm scuba diver, you know, I got to do my 2 years of missionary work. You'll tell all kind of lies instead of coming over here and saying, you know what, I need to empty my sack. I'm on a dry spell. These women in America don't want to do nothing with me. They're not looking at me. And the women that are looking at me, I don't want them. Big Shirley and them. Okay? I'm sorry. I ain't trying to. He said, Angela City is never a good option. I'm not trying to deal with the motherboard. I'm 62. They want me to deal with a woman in her late 50s, early 60s. I'm not gonna do it. There ain't nothing attractive about a woman that age, not for me. Some other guys, they've got their druthers, you know. You got your preference. There's nothing a 60-year-old woman can do for me. Nothing. Okay? Because it's dried up down there. And if they want to get mad at me and try to counsel me for telling the truth, then okay, do it. And if you still working, it's an elephant pussy. It's either that or a dinosaur pussy, where you got to use all that old petroleum jelly and all that just to get it working. I'm not trying to do that. I'm a lot younger than a 62-year-old woman. A 62-year-old woman is probably 80 for real. Women mature faster than us. And I'm pretty sure there's enough men who just say, oh, sex don't mean anything to me. No, these are the patches. These are my designs. Q, this is my invention. You see, Sunshine Shoulders, 8,000-mile club. You need to get you one because you over here. So when people say, oh, yeah, you going to the Philippines over there dealing with those young women, I'm like, yeah, but they're grown. They're not babies. It's what you thinking. My woman's 43. She's a grown-ass woman. He said, like, I'm glad that spinner is willing to bounce on it with no hands, but my effing Zoom meeting keeps cutting off because it's check notes windy outside. Yeah. See? When you go from the oasis to the desert, like you did, TJ, that's why I can't do the LDR. He said, Selma, hey, yeah, but that's just what we're seeing on the outside with the filters and stuff. Man, that woman is still 60. And imagine all the dick she had inside of her. Okay? I'm sorry. They don't fool me with that. I'm going to tell you what. When I met Bob Hope, you know how good he looked on TV, right? I met him in person in 1983. He came out. We were off the coast of Beirut. He was just sitting out there. He bought his, the show out there. He bought the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, Kathy Lee Crosby, Vic Damone, and somebody else. He bought his, what is it, UFO? What was that? USO show? Man, he looked old as hell in real life. Liver spots all over him, shaking. He was 84 then. That's when he said, if I knew I was going to live this long, I'd have took better care of myself. He actually said that. So they're not fooling me, man. A 60-year-old woman, even if she is, man, you got to understand, they're going through menopause, man. They ain't wanting you to touch them. They'll say all that stuff on, in promotion and interviews and stuff like that. Just look at Halle Berry and all that. She's on this menopause tour, and the man sitting there agreeing with everything. Like, lady, you're too old. Bye. I ain't dealing with a woman with no menopause, man. She said, oh, it feels like a needle being stuck in you. Yeah, well, go play with your damn puppies then. Don't be trying to, play with the big dog. Because I'm going up in something. Yeah, he said, oh, Bob, hit the sauce often, I heard. Well, on TV, they look good, man. They do all that filter. They've been doing all that filter and lighting and camera work a long time. Now they just got it into the technology now. But that woman is 60, whatever she is, she got either elephant pussy or dinosaur pussy. One of them. I don't want either one. I just want a pussy. And once it turns into something else, I'm out of that. You can talk about me all you want. There's a reason that men um, and women end up splitting up because we're different. He said, I'm here to see the big buildings and the nice ocean. Yeah, right. They say all kinds of stuff. But if you tell them the truth, and then you back it up and you're like, yeah, well, see, look at me now. They be wanting to come to the Philippines now. When I first said I was coming over here in 2008, and people was looking at me like I was crazy. Like, if I'd have said, they never said, be honest, man. Maybe now because the Philippines is so popular now, but it used to be a time if you say, oh, I'm going to the Philippines, people didn't even ask you to bring back a souvenir. But if you go to somewhere like London or, Paris, France, somewhere like that, oh, bring me something back. Gee, you tell them you come to the Philippines, they don't even ask for a souvenir. But whenever you see these vloggers, they get on here, they start talking bad about the Philippines. Remember, you got to see how many years they've been here. A lot of times they've already emptied their sack, guys. I know what I'm talking about. When they first get over here, there's nothing bad that they're going to say about the Philippines. Everything is good. He says, everywhere we live, you must have at least 3 to 5 good friends, build a network contacts. That's absolutely true. Certainly overseas. Certainly in the Philippines. People don't understand. I do those meet and greets for me, not for y'all to meet me, but for me to meet y'all and have somebody to talk to and conversate with. The most I get here, have you eat yet? You hungry? Is you legal yet? What you gonna do today? You going to the gym? That's it. Man, we go in my last meet and greet and watch and see people engage in some deep conversations, man. That's what it's about. And exchanging phone numbers, emails, WhatsApp, because the Philippines is really a small place. You can get anywhere on a plane no more than an hour and a half. But that's exactly right. That's why I created the community. Now everybody's creating a community, which is good. I never heard anybody talk about that. Why did I don't follow people. I'm not a follower. But I'm glad that they're doing it because it's needed. Like I told y'all before, before I get off here, because I know Maryland will finish with lunch in there. If I don't do anything else, I'm going to build the unofficial Expat Resource Center. That's a done deal. I already put it out there in the universe. A guy sent me, when I first talked about it, he sent me a business plan for it. I've got it. I'm going to do it. We'll figure out how. See, the universe don't deal in the hows. All you do is you put it out there. Okay? Once you get in your subconscious, man, it's going to bring in the people and the circumstances to make it happen. Because that's needed. Now, if you go to Angeles City and different places like that, man, they got all that. If Angeles City doesn't have anything else, it has that big expat community, man. And you're within close proximity to each other. They have a meet and greet every day at the bar. You don't have, but if your only goal is to meet a woman, man, going to Angeles City, dude, you got a problem, dude. You got a big problem. But thank y'all so much for your super chats, super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support for Sunshine Shoulders, man. Come out to this next meet and greet, September 27th. It's in Manila, man. It's easy to get to. This is what I told Richie Rich, why so many people are going to show up. There's so many expats in Manila. I hope the place is big enough. The biggest meet and greet I ever had was in Cebu. Was it actually Lapu Lapu at the Morning Glory Grill. But then Cafe Engelberg, about 50 people showed up there. But about 60 people showed up at that Morning Glory Grill. But this is going to top it. I would be shocked if 100 people didn't show up there. At Draft Restaurant and Brewery in the Power Plant Mall in Makati. One of the nicest places in Manila. He said, Cal, they have the coochie surgery. Yeah, that's right. But you can't do anything about menopause, though, because it's already going to be tight. It's already going to be dry. They quit producing the juice. That's one of the problems. That's why it's so painful. So, once a woman gets a certain age, it no longer goes, it's no longer elephant pussy. It's a dinosaur pussy. It's old, it's dried up, it's extinct because nobody's going to fool with it anymore. You might as well sew it up. Nobody's going to fool with that, man. Who wants to deal with that? You got to beg the woman all night, and then she finally says, yeah, and you can't even get it in. You go cut yourself trying to get some action. Forget that, man. I got a brain for a reason. I said, okay, I know I know how to solve this problem. I'm not going to deal with a woman in menopause. What are you doing, booby? Get out of here. Oh, the remote? Which one? The small one. You sure it's in here? It's not. But take care, y'all. Stay safe, stay out of trouble. I'll see y'all next time. Don't do anything stupid. I'm going to take y'all back. We've been planning to do this. Merlin's going to take us back to her old neighborhood. And we're going to talk about what it's like growing up in the Philippines, and just going to give y'all an inside look in the life of your woman, because you're not going to ask her the question. Every Filipino has a story, man, and most of it's heartbreaking, man. And Merlin's is no different. When Merlin was 11 years old, she was taking care of her siblings, dude. Okay, her mother was in Manila working. And the mother would send the money back here, and the father would drink it up. Merlin was out there working. She used to take the siblings that were younger than her to school with her because there was no daycare. It's some powerful stories over here, guys. But that's what's coming up. It's going to be interesting, too. Take care.